They called it impossible. And yet it happened. Not in Detroit, not in Berlin, but in Montreal, Canada. In 1941, Canada wasn't known for its tanks. It had no armored divisions of its own. Its military was small. Its factories were outdated. Its workforce inexperienced. And still, within 18 months, Canada went from building steam locomotives to churning out hundreds of tanks. Not copies, not kits. Original designs. Functional. Operational. Battle-ready. To German intelligence, this didn't make sense. They had reports of tanks rolling out of Canadian factories at speeds that defied known logistics. The question wasn't just how, it was why. Why was a country with no tank experience building armored vehicles faster than nations at war since day one? The answer begins not with soldiers or generals, but with engineers, rail workers, and machinists from Quebec and Ontario. They weren't famous. They didn't wear medals, but they did something remarkable. They reprogrammed an entire industry to serve the battlefield. Canada's miracle began in a place few had heard of, the Montreal Locomotive Works. Before the war, it built steam engines for civilian trains. But in 1940, the British government placed a desperate call. They needed tanks, fast, and they needed a country that wasn't already being bombed to build them. Canada answered. The engineers at Montreal Locomotive Works were told to reverse engineer the American M3 Lee tank and turn it into something better, something Canadian. They had no blueprint, no prototype, just pieces, scraps, and a deadline. The men and women in the shops worked day and night. They melted train parts, reshaped steel, cut hulls by hand. They built mock-up tanks out of wood just to practice assembling real ones. Every week the factory floor changed. New tools, new stations, new solutions. It was chaos, but it worked. In less than a year, they created the Ram tank, based loosely on the M3 chassis, but redesigned from scratch with a Canadian-made turret, a lower profile, and better cross-country mobility. It was fast, rugged, and completely unexpected. By 1942, Canada was producing tanks faster per capita than any Allied country. Even the US was surprised. The British were stunned. And the Germans. They thought it was disinformation, a trick to inflate Allied production numbers. But it wasn't. It was a factory. In Montreal. Running 24 hours a day. At its peak, the facility produced one Ram tank every 4 hours. And that was just the beginning. Other factories in Regina, Toronto, and Vancouver joined the effort. They built parts, tested engines, painted camouflage. Canada, a nation of just 11 million people, became an industrial giant overnight. In the streets of Montreal, locals watched tanks roll out of warehouses and onto flatbed trains. These weren't secret projects hidden underground. They happened in plain sight, in the middle of neighborhoods, next to bakeries and schools. Every citizen could hear the clang of armor being bolted, the roar of engines being tested. It became a rhythm, a soundtrack to wartime Canada. But there was one strange part to all this. For all the tanks Canada built, thousands of them, most were never used by Canada itself. The Ram tank was a paradox. Built for war, but never used in battle. It was a medium tank, heavily armored, armed with a 2-pounder gun, and powered by a Continental R975 radial engine, the same engine used in the American Sherman. But unlike the Sherman, the Ram was uniquely Canadian. Its turret was redesigned for better traverse. Its hull had a smoother silhouette. Its internal layout was tighter, more efficient. And it had a front-facing hull machine gun operated by the driver. It was built for Europe, built to go toe-to-toe with German Panzer IVs, built to withstand the muddy roads of Holland and the hills of Italy. And yet, the Ram never saw combat. Not because it wasn't ready, but because by the time it was, the war had shifted. New tank designs had emerged. The M4 Sherman became the Allied standard. Interoperability mattered more than national pride. The British needed tanks that could be repaired in any field workshop in Normandy. And the Ram, despite its quality, was just too different. Still, the Ram found purpose. Thousands were used as training tanks in Canada and the United Kingdom. They trained crews that would later fight in Shermans. They taught tactics, communication, gunnery, and survival. The Ram became the classroom for a generation of Canadian tank crews. It was also modified into dozens of variants. Ram Kangaroo, a troop transport. Ram OP, an observation post. Ram ARV, armored recovery vehicle. Ram Sexton, a self-propelled artillery piece using the Ram chassis. Each variant played a role, not on the front line, but just behind it, supplying, supporting, surviving. In this way, the Ram tank became a ghost tank, seen everywhere, but never fired in anger. And yet, its presence shaped the battlefield in ways most never noticed. Canada built over 8,000 armored vehicles during World War II, yet few outside the military history world know it ever made even one. Why? Because Canada's role in the war was never about spectacle. It was about support, infrastructure, logistics, volume. Canada didn't seek glory. It built the machines that made glory possible for others. From 1941 to 1945, Canada became the fourth largest producer of war material among the Allies. Not bad for a country with no automotive industry to start with. Beyond tanks, it built over 800,000 military trucks, millions of artillery shells, rifles, radios, boots, uniforms. Canadian factories powered campaigns across Europe, North Africa, and the Pacific. The Ram tank symbolized this hidden strength. It was big, it was fast, it was functional, but it was quiet. No massive PR campaigns, no cinematic battlefield footage, no statue in its honor. Just rows of armor rolling off the line, painted in dull olive, shipped overseas, and quietly replaced by American models. Even Canadian soldiers trained on the Ram often fought in Shermans once they arrived in France. The transition was seamless because the Ram had prepared them for everything except the spotlight. That was Canada's gift to the war, a force multiplier, unseen, understated, essential. Canada's war story is often told in shadows, not because it lacks valor, but because it rarely demands attention. The story of the Ram tank reflects that. A tank designed with brilliance, crafted with urgency, and rolled out with astonishing speed, only to be sidelined before it ever fired a shot. But what the Ram lacked in battlefield legacy, it made up for in what it represented. It was never just about steel, armor, or firepower. It was about transformation, about how a country with no tank factories turned into one of the fastest and most efficient arms manufacturers of the entire war. Think about it. Canada had no blueprint, no tank commanders with experience, no military-industrial complex. And still, it took the challenge head-on. Where others hesitated, Canada adapted. Steam engine workers learned how to cast armor plating. Rail yard welders learned how to build turret rings. Young men and women, many fresh out of school, became machinists, testers, and quality controllers overnight. It wasn't just a shift in economy, it was a shift in identity. And the result? A tank built so quickly, so consistently, and so unexpectedly that even the Germans believed it must have been propaganda. It wasn't. It was real. It was Canadian. But the story doesn't end there. Because while the Ram never roared into battle, it paved the way for something far greater. It trained crews who would later liberate Europe. It gave Allied commanders the logistical confidence to launch massive offensives. It proved that ingenuity could come from the most unlikely places. And it demonstrated that winning a war isn't just about pulling a trigger. It's about building the trigger, testing it, refining it, and trusting it will work when it matters. Today, most Ram tanks have been scrapped. A few rust quietly in museums or military bases. Their paint faded, their engines long silent. But what they stood for still echoes. In an age where loudness often overshadows substance, the Ram reminds us that greatness can be quiet, that a factory worker's hands can shape the tide of history just as much as a general's orders, and that sometimes the most powerful weapon in war isn't the one that fires, but the one that prepares others to win. This was the story of Canada's Ram tank, the weapon that never fought, but changed everything. If you enjoyed this forgotten chapter of history, make sure to subscribe, because we're just getting started uncovering the stories the front pages forgot.